Dr. Keith Mitchell has been sworn in as Prime Minister of Grenada for a fifth time. And in sport, West Indies women continue their losing streak against New Zealand. I'm Nicole Best, and this is the Caribbean in 10 for Friday, March 16th. I'll be back with the details in just a moment.
On this edition of Honda Racing at Speed, the 2018 IndyCar season is here. Honda's ready with new cars, new drivers, and new excitement. We'll visit the test in the West at Phoenix. We'll introduce you to a new safety idea that might protect Honda's IndyCar stars. Find out where they like to spend their off days and go off-roading with Team Honda Racing Ridgeline, finding the winning margin at home. All next on Honda Racing at Speed.
The community of Signal Hill already has a youth center, a micro mall, a recreational ground. And now, residents have a refurbished community center to add to that list.
This refurbished building was first constructed by the United States Marine Corps some 20-plus years during the tenure of Mr. Lennox Denoon's-led Tobago House of Assembly.
Dr. Keith Mitchell has been sworn in as Prime Minister of Grenada for a fifth time. The short swearing-in ceremony took place before a packed audience at the Grenada Trade Center at the south of the island. The 71-year-old Mitchell, who has been in active politics for over 34 years, told the audience that he was humbled by their confidence in him and his team, which took a clean sweep of the 15 constituency seats at the polls on Tuesday. He reiterated his call for the main opposition National Democratic Congress, the NDC, which failed to join the social partnership in putting forward the best policies for the socio-economic development of the Tri-Island state. He said his first task would be to write to the party to make his request official, adding that the electoral war is over and it is now time to let peace reign. However, he said it was regrettable that the constitutional referendum in 2016 was voted down by the people, since among other things it would have allowed for the appointment of a leader of the opposition in Parliament at all times. He said it is now up to the Governor-General to have a semblance of opposition in the Parliament. A high court has ruled that Barbudans will cast their ballots in the March 21st general elections on the mainland, just as the Antigua and Barbuda Electoral Commission, ABEC, had decided. This after Justice Claire Henry ruled yesterday that a challenge to the electoral process regarding where Barbuda constituents should vote was premature. Leader of the Barbuda People's Movement, Trevor Walker, had asked the High Court to prevent ABEC from forcing the people of Barbuda to cast their ballots on Antigua and not in their constituency. But Justice Henry ruled that the matter could only proceed by way of an election petition. She said there was no claim properly before the court to grant the injunction Walker had sought. But Walker said what his party was asking for was an interim injunction to prevent ABEC from allowing Barbudans to vote in Antigua. Attorney Charlesworth Tabor also said he did not believe the application was premature because it was not challenging an election result. ABEC Chairman Nathaniel Paddy James said the Commission had the best interest of the Barbudans at heart in making its decision. He also said discussions would continue with officials from the National Office of Disaster Services on transportation arrangements for Barbudans wishing to cast their vote. Meantime, the main opposition United Progressive Party, the UPP, launched its election manifesto last night, brushing aside suggestions that its policies can't be achieved over the next 5 years. UPP leader Harold Lovell told supporters that the policies contained in the manifesto titled Delivering Hope UPP are all achievable. They include creating more jobs and making the cost of living more affordable by reducing the price of gasoline and diesel, among other items. Lovell was adamant that the measures would have a positive impact on the economy and not collapse it, as Prime Minister Gaston Brown had suggested.
This will be a stimulus in the economy, and we all know that once we can get a stimulus in the economy, put the money back in people's pockets, people will be spending that money, the money will be circulating in the economy. That's the sort of environment that we want to create. We want to create an active and dynamic economy. This will be coupled by our other measures in terms of creating opportunities for entrepreneurship and creating a very favorable business climate for our people. So all in all, if you ask for just a straight expenditure aspect or in terms of revenue aspect, then that will give you a particular result. But if you say what will be the impact on the economy in circulating money and the money coming back around to the sales tax, we are saying it is very doable, it is very workable, and it will create a new spirit of entrepreneurship in Antigua and Barbuda.
The UPP is also promising to investigate significant time, that's to invest significant time, interest and financial resources in the tourism sector, increase agriculture exports and reduce food imports, and repeal the controversial Paradise Found Act. It also plans to build new schools, provide $1 million annually for daycare centers, pursue plans for the establishment of a University of Antigua and Barbuda, and establish an education park of 1.5 square miles of academic institutions. The manifesto also outlines plans for strengthening national security, health, sports, and information technology, among other sectors. A 5.0 magnitude earthquake rattled Trinidad and Tobago late last night, but there were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. The Seismic Research Center of the University of the West Indies said the quake occurred just before 11 p.m. at a depth of 26 kilometers. Its location was put at 75 kilometers west-northwest of the capital, Port of Spain, about 100 kilometers west-northwest of Arima, and 102 kilometers northwest of San Fernando. Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next. West Indies women continued their winless run against New Zealand women when they crashed to a heavy 106-run defeat in the second T20 International that took place earlier today. Chasing an imposing 186-4 victory on the lights at Bay Oval, the Caribbean side's batting collapsed yet again to leave them well short of their target at 79 for 8 of their allotted 20 overs. Kishore Knight top scored with 20 and was just one of 3 in double figures as the innings never got going after losing a cluster of wickets up front. Pacer Sophie Devine helped West Indies with 3 for 12, while off-spinner Lai Kasparek ended with 2 for 13. Earlier, the hosts piled up 185 for 3 of their 20 overs after being sent in, with Amy Satterthwaite hammering an unbeaten 71 and wicketkeeper Kathy Martin stroking 65. That's Caribbean Newsline. Join us at 6:30. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Have yourselves a good afternoon.